talk about tonight. The government insists there's no government conspiracy. We release our own Epstein files, and we go for a walk in the woods with Nick Offerman. So, let's get into headlines. We are on week 2 of the MAGA civil war over the Epstein files. And the Trump administration can't get its stories straight. There was a client list, then there was no client list. They were going to release all the files, and then they decided not to release any files. So let's see what today's excuse is.
I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden
Okay, cool. Cool as a cucumber. This guy's not worried about a thing. So let me get this straight. According to Trump, all the top Democrats got together and said, let's create some fake files that destroy Trump's political career. They don't ever use them. They let Trump get elected, don't use them. Let Trump get elected again, still don't use them. And then once he's the president, hope he releases the files without ever looking at them. Frankly, that plan sounds so inconceivably bad, I do believe the Democrats might have come up with it. But Trump clearly wants everyone to move on. And after initially pushing back, some of them are getting the message.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands.
Wait a minute. The balls in their hands, he says? Probably not the phrase I would use when talking about the Epstein files. The ball's in their hands. The shaft is in the courts. The taint is in the bread basket. What the are we doing here? A phrase you don't hear conspiracy theorists, free thinkers utter a whole lot is, I'm going to trust my friends in the government on this one. Clearly, this issue has MAGA on its heels, which means now is the time for Democrats to strike. Democrats, show us what you got.
Congressman Hank Johnson coming to give you some more ear candy or perhaps an earache. Epstein died by suicide. You must be blind. You've been telling us you released the file, but where are they?
Maybe I was too harsh on the J6 choir. I just feel for his poor aides who probably spent all week having to help him with this. Like, Rebecca, quick, give me a list of all the words that rhyme with suicide, please. But it's a fluid situation right now, and MAGA is trying to wrap their heads around it because they have a lot of unanswered questions.
There are a lot of unanswered questions, but the biggest question is just what on earth is going on?
I don't know what's happening.
It doesn't make sense.
I can't reconcile this Donald Trump with the Trump that we're seeing right now, the Trump that is gaslighting the public right now.
Yeah, okay, this is a tough one. Why is Donald Trump refusing to release the Epstein files and telling everyone to shut up and move on? Well, okay. Let me offer one possible theory. Perhaps you've heard of Occam's razor. It's the idea that the most simple explanation is probably the correct one. In the case of Trump and the Epstein files, let's call our theory Occam's giant machete. By now, you've probably heard that Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein's partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, used to be friends. But it's worth understanding how close this friendship was.
Trump says he's known Epstein since the late 80s, and pictures from the 90s show the president with Maxwell, who became Epstein's girlfriend.
They were neighbors in Palm Beach. At one point, Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago.
It's party time at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago, and among the guests, Jeffrey Epstein. Trump and Epstein can be seen ogling the cheerleaders. Trump points one of them out and says she's hot. Then he says something in Epstein's ear that has the financier doubled up in laughter.
Now. Okay, now. Hey. What did Trump say? It's impossible to know. And Donald Trump and Epstein didn't just party together, they were neighbors. Epstein said he was Trump's closest friend for 10 years. In fact, Epstein's infamous Little Black Book included 14 different numbers for Trump and his representatives. I mean, he had 14 separate ways to contact Donald Trump. I mean, when I drop my kid off at camp, I give 2 emergency contact numbers. And one of them is fake because I don't need the hassle, all right? And these guys didn't just party together. Epstein was a part of some major milestones in Trump's life.
Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump.
Trump was a frequent passenger on Epstein's plane, known as the Lolita Express. And Epstein told author Michael Wolff, the first time he slept with Melania was on my plane.
And that is how I met your mother, Barron. Any questions? I'll tell you, next time you're on a flight with a crying baby, just think about how much worse it could be. All right. So right now, you might be thinking, fine, they were friends. They hung out. That doesn't mean Trump knew about what Epstein was doing. And you know what? Maybe not. But he clearly had some idea.
In a 2002 interview with New York Magazine, Trump showered praise on Epstein, calling him a, quote, terrific guy, and saying, it is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
Do you know how creepy with women you have to be for Donald Trump to pick up on it? I mean, that's a real your drunk friend taking the car keys from you moment. And you could still say, so what? They were close friends. They were Mile High Club pals. That still doesn't mean that Trump is in the files. And maybe. But after Jeffrey Epstein died in prison, the only person left who knew all his secrets was Ghislaine Maxwell. And when she got charged with sex trafficking, Trump's response was surprisingly sympathetic.
I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is.
You wish her well? Is that the right response? I think there's a reason they don't have that section in the Hallmark store. It's not there. It's not. Let's be clear. Law and Order SVU doesn't start like, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous, and we wish the perpetrators well. Dun dun. Okay, you know what? You want to take another shot at it? Maybe even more flailing and desperate?
Yeah, I wish you well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. And I do wish you well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody.
What are you talking about? You wish bad things on everybody. Suddenly you're wishing Ghislaine well? You were harder on Kristen Stewart for cheating on Robert Pattinson. Okay. All right. So, to sum up, to all the MAGA people who are so confused about why Trump doesn't want to release any of these files, maybe the answer has something to do with Occam's giant f***ing machete. But
Bravo, Jordan.
Wait a minute, what is that?
Bravo.
I know that sarcastic clap. Is that Michael Kosta? Yes, Michael Kosta. Michael Kosta. Apparently on Mar-a-Lago, everyone. Michael?
That's right. I'm Michael Kosta. And you must think you're Inspector Gadget, the way you're putting all the clues together, huh? But the fact is, you're just talking out of your go-go gadget ass.
Okay. I don't think that's fair, Michael. I've laid out a pretty good trail of Trump and Epstein's decades-long friendship.
Sorry, I barely recognize you in your tinfoil hat. Hey, Klepper, you're just like all the other conspiracy theorists, stringing red yarn between random facts. You think you're Sherlock Holmes, but really, you're just talking out of your go-go gadget ass.
Yeah, okay. All right, smarty pants. Why do you think Trump was just so close to Epstein?
It's so obvious, Jordan. Once you take off your go-go gadget blinders, you'll realize that the reason Trump was friends with Epstein was so he could investigate him. He knew from the very beginning that Epstein was trouble, and as a concerned citizen, Donald Trump f***ed Melania on his plane. You know, laying low.
Okay, but if Donald Trump was working to expose Epstein, why doesn't he just say it?
Because he's a humble man, Jordan. If the world found out he was the one who exposed the world's most notorious sex trafficker, he would get so much praise, love, and attention. And that's the last thing Donald J. Trump would want.
Okay. All right. But Kosta, he didn't expose anything. Epstein killed himself in prison.
Yeah, well, and you can thank Donald Trump for that. Who do you think talked Epstein into it? My man Donnie T went into his cell and said, "Listen up, you ugly mug, the game's up, see? We got you dead to rights, so do yourself a favor. Punch your own ticket before we put you in the chair and give you the juice, see?"
Okay, all right, so let me get this straight. Your theory is that Trump spent the past 30 years undercover in Epstein's pedophile cabal, which he was not actually part of, to get evidence to convict Jeffrey Epstein, who Trump convinced to kill himself, but he can't release the files because people would be too grateful for him?
Well. Look who finally connected all the clues, Mr. Detective Columbo. Looks like Mr. Murder, She Wrote finally pulled his Nancy Drew head out of his go-go gadget ass.
Michael Kosta, everybody.